Hello, I'm Laura Jenkin. Today I'm going to talk about finishing off knitting with a cast off. But before I do, I thought I'd like to show you these. Many years ago, well 10-12 years ago, just for fun I started making little things like this and like this. Just for fun. And they got me into putting them on the internet, the patterns, and they were successful. And so I was encouraged to display some of my skills as a knitter. Well, today it's about casting off. Thank you. Here are a pair of infants' boottees of my own pattern, and I finished it, started at the toe and finished at the top with a rather nice cast off. It has the effect of looking on the inside like a chain and looking on the outside like a chain, so you've got a sort of two-dimensional cast off. I'm going to show you how it's done. Here's one a slightly bit bigger. It does look good to have a row of garter stitch immediately underneath the chain cast off. It sets it off and stops it from rolling forward. Here is my little sample, which I'm ready to put a cast off on. Now, when you're changing colours on something like this, it's always a good idea to start at a different place with the next set of colours. Otherwise you've got four ends all in the same place. So I'm going to start here. And this particular cast off doesn't have a visible start or end. I've chosen pink and yellow just so that you can see everything. Now if you start off with a loop knot, works with the end and not the long part, you'll find it will slide off from the end and not from this end, which just makes it a little bit easier. Right, that is only to hold the two ends together. I'm not going to use the loop. You knit one in one colour and one in the second. So get those loops out of the way at the back, trap them in the other hand. Pick up one colour, knit, pick up the second colour and go over the top of the previous one. Make them a bit loose, slip over in the normal way, pick up the first colour, go over the yellow and knit, pass it over, pick up the yellow, go over the pink, cast off. One way to avoid having a tight cast off is not to hold these too tightly. Let it slip through your fingers. Yellow's turn, over the top of the pink. Pink, over the top of the yellow. I'll get to the end of the needle and then I'll show you what it looks like. Yellow over the top of the pink. Right, I've done one needle. Let's tighten that pink a little bit. There is the back chain, and you've got the blue links through it from the previous row, of course, and the front, and they roll around the edge. Now when you get to the next needle, all you've got to do is just turn the corner. First needle goes down. Now it's yellow. These wools are going to get quite twisted, but it doesn't matter because when you get to the end you'll cut it off and then you can untwist them. Right. Yellow over the top and twist, slip. Pink over the top and slip. Yellow over the top, knit one and slip. Always twist them in the same direction. The new colour over the top of the old colour. Over the top. It needs to be slack so that the tension on the chain is roughly the same equivalent as the tension on the garter stitch, which is loose, of course. And here is my twist getting together. If it becomes a nuisance, just push the twist out of sight. Right, come back to you soon. Here I am at the end of the cast off. My last stitch was yellow, my first stitch is pink, so if I link them together, the join will be invisible. If you get to this point and find you've got two adjacent colours, you've probably had an odd number of stitches. So what I would do is I would just pick up another stitch in the middle and make it even. One more stitch won't show. Right, here's all my twists. Undo them. And undo the last stitch. Pull it through. It's locked, it won't come undone, it won't lose. Get a needle. I was taught to do that when I was at school. When you're threading wool, don't try and do that, it takes forever. Put your needle down there, hold it tight so you've got a smooth edge and you can feed it through. Right, yellow. Get back to this. Take the yellow and poke it through there without piercing the stitches and back down where it came from. Pull it to the right tension and you have an invisible join at the end of your cast off. If you're clever, when you go to the inside, there's our first bit, undo that. You can replicate the weave of your first stitches into your second. So even the back will look neat. When you come to fasten off the ends, fold it over, pinch and push it through the end. Now if you put it in through the back of the cast off you have just done, you can lose it from sight. And now the pink. Perhaps I'll go the other way. So push it in behind where it won't show. In the depths. Make sure you don't pull it too tight and spoil the effect of your lovely join. One, two, done. Now, difficult to see where the join is. And it isn't there. That's where I made a bit of a loose join. Sorry about that. Now you have a cast off, and unless you know where to look, you can't see the beginning or the end. It's good. And by rolling it over, you get sort of three-dimensional cast off. There's the underneath, there's the top. Very pretty cast off, and worthy of being used a little bit more often for a decorative edge. It would look lovely on a baby's blanket, or something or a bottom of a purse, or a bag, around the edge of a bag. Make a lovely ending. I have a newsletter group, and with monthly newsletters, and if you want to join, there is a link down below. Thank you very much.